You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Real quick, guys, before we actually dive into the video today, I meant to actually put this in the video, but we have a new shirt in the merch store. You can support us. You can get your donkey pox shirt. The disease that is destroying America. We're talking about the Democrat Party here. You can get it in multiple colors. And you can also get 25% off by using the discount code USA First. I actually like this army green color right here. You can actually get a better look at it right there. 25% off, guys, if you use the discount code USA First. All right, guys, let's talk about ESPN and Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill worked at ESPN for a while, many years actually. And when it comes to people in the woke sports media, Jemele Hill is my number one right up there at the top. She is a woke lunatic, a race baiter. This woman was so terrible over at ESPN, her job. She actually was on a Sportscenter at 6 with Michael Smith. And it had nothing to do with sports. It was pretty much, a political propaganda show for Jemele Hill to spew her leftist ideology on the people. People tuned into ESPN for sports, and Jemele Hill was not delivering. Well, she is, of course, guys, she is no longer over at ESPN, but she did appear on Kenny Mayne's podcast, and she came out and had some very, very interesting things to actually say about ESPN. Let's go over here, guys. Jemele Hill says she wasn't a good fit for the Sportscenter culture, calls it the worst job I had at ESPN. Now, Jemele Hill is a leftist. And folks, I do believe, like I said before, she is the most woke person out there in the sports media. She was actually probably too woke for even ESPN. And ESPN, they have been woke. They do have a lot of left-leaning people, but I don't believe that anybody is more leftist than Jemele Hill. To me, she was just too woke for ESPN. Now, ESPN did go through a phase when they were actually trying to clean up all of the political stuff. And they tried to do that for a while. But then, of course, George Floyd happened, and then they went bananas again, and they have not looked back again. But let's read this article here. It says, nearly 4 years after her departure from ESPN, Jemele Hill is opening up about more of her tumultuous later years at the company. In an interview Thursday with former ESPN co-worker Kenny Mayne on his Hey Mayne podcast, Jemele Hill discussed her time on Sportscenter. So this is going to get interesting here, guys. This is parts of what she actually said here. Now, this is via USA Today's transcript. Quote, I wasn't a good fit for the Sportscenter culture. Definitely not a good fit for the management that was overseeing Sportscenter at the time. And I got tired. I got really tired of fighting every day to be myself. Hill said Thursday on Kenny Mayne's podcast, Hey Mayne. Hill, 46, joined ESPN as a columnist in 2006. She began co-hosting the His and Hers podcast with Michael Smith in 2011. The quote-unquote popular podcast went on to become an ESPN2 show in 2013. Hill and Smith were promoted to evening anchors of SportsCenter in February 2017. That is the Woke Center thing, the SportsCenter at 6, which nobody watched. But anyway, quote, by far SportsCenter was the most high-profile job I've had at ESPN, Hill recalled. It was the best paying job I had at ESPN. But it's also the worst job I had at ESPN. Why, you may ask? We're going to get into that. Like I said before, guys, Jemele Hill is the most left-leaning person in the sports media. She is just too woke. And that show, man, SportsCenter at 6, had nothing to do with sports. It was about race baiting, Trump bashing, that kind of thing. It goes on, it says, over the show's first few months, Hill revealed that coworkers urged her and co-host Michael Smith to not let ESPN management change them, with issues related to the show's creative direction popping up. After landing the coveted role, Hill said many, quote, seasoned SportsCenter anchors, including Maine, Mike Greenberg, and Scott Van Pelt, all gave her and Smith the same advice: don't let them change you. Quote, giving us this advice, there's an implicit warning that's in there too. That became really evident more quickly, Hill said. So we were already having some creative issues with management before Donald Trump. Here we go. Once that happened, and my tweet and all the fallout and the controversy, that just sped up something that was already, I think, in the process. Now, here's the thing. What does Donald Trump actually have to do with sports? Donald Trump shouldn't even be a factor when you're talking about doing SportsCenter. Stick to sports. And of course, Jemele Hill did not want to do that. She actually called Donald Trump a white supremacist on the show. You're alienating like half of the country, half of your the fan base that actually watch ESPN. Hill and Smith were announced as the new hosts of the 6 p.m. SportsCenter in October of 2016. Officially taken over in February of 2017, in September of that year, Hill tweeted that President Trump was a white supremacist, and the powder keg exploded. She avoided a suspension over that tweet, but was handed a 2-week suspension in October for suggesting fans boycott sponsors of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that's because Jerry Jones he wasn't down with all the kneeling. He was not down with that. He actually came out and he said that we will stand and respect the national anthem and respect the country. Fans don't like all the kneeling. Ask the NBA. They have never really recovered from the 2020 bubble. Now, here's something very interesting, guys. When I think of ESPN, I never think of a conservative culture. Now, I'm going to read this next part here. And like I said, she is the most left-leaning person. She is pretty much the AOC of sports. And anybody to the left of Bernie Sanders in politics is considered a conservative to an AOC. No different right here with Jemele Hill as well. She says this, quote, it's a conservative culture at ESPN. And so this idea that ESPN is being run by flower children is just a lie, Hill said. That's not how it is. It's the opposite, if anything, as you know all too well. She continued, once critics started seeing my face, Michael's face, become more prominent, then suddenly ESPN is too liberal, because what they're really trying to say is, oh, y'all must be liberal leaning because you got all these women and all these black people who are suddenly on my TV every day. So that means that this company has a certainly given in to the brigade of liberalism. Hill's comments about the direction of the 6 p.m. SportsCenter also mirrors some of the comments she made years ago. Next thing you know, and this is her quote, they didn't want Mike and I on camera as much. They just wanted a more traditional SportsCenter, Hill said. That's not what I signed up for. You see, guys, she didn't sign up for sports. She just told you right there. She goes on, we signed up to do something different. We wanted to bring the craziness of his and hers, our previous show, onto SportsCenter, and they didn't want that. Hill said she believes her authentic self was too much for the SportsCenter audience to handle. She said ESPN was, quote, only worried about the reaction. It was no fun for me, and so that's why I left, she said. I didn't get kicked off. I chose to leave because the experience wasn't fun for me anymore. So there you have it, guys. Jemele Hill saying that ESPN conservative? Conservative, really? Folks, the last couple of years, ESPN has been worse than ever diving into politics. Remember, the Walt Disney Company actually owns ESPN. And these people on ESPN have been going out of their way to talk about the Florida's parental rights and education bill, that kind of thing. And they have been pushing far left propaganda for many, many years. They tried to clean it up once, but once George Floyd happened, they went off the deep end. And Jemele Hill, I believe that she was just a little bit too much, even for the Wolsters over there in ESPN management. Jemele Hill is on a whole another level. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.